So taking it all the way back to when I first started selling on eBay, the way that I was able to make my first sale was by selling stuff around the house. And this is something that I always advise people to do when it comes to them trying to make money on eBay. So there's a number of reasons why I went down this route initially. Number one is that I wanted to get rid of the junk that was lying around my house and potentially make some money from it as well. The second reason is that I wanted to understand the entire process of what it took to list a product, sell a product, collect the money from the customer, as well as shipping out the item and dealing with any issues that the customer had. So I wanted to understand this entire process before I built my real business on eBay. And during this time, I was able to make a decent amount of money as well. I was able to make around £2,000 from selling all of the junk that was lying around my house. Even if they were used, I still knew that people were searching for these items on eBay. But when it came to now trying to find a product that I was going to import in bulk and sell it one by one from China, I knew that that was going to be a little bit more difficult, but I knew that this was the only way that I was going to be able to now build my e-commerce business. I needed to find a product that I was going to be able to import in bulk from China and sell it one by one myself, because obviously the things that was lying around my house was eventually going to run out, which means I wasn't going to be able to make money from the things in my house anymore. So I spent a lot of time doing a lot of research to make sure that I could find a product that people were actually searching for. And this is the first thing that you guys need to be aware of. You need to make sure that the product that you've listed on your eBay store is a product that people are actually searching for and people want to buy. Because if you haven't done the right product research to make sure that people actually want to buy that product, then you might be waiting for a longer time. The key is to make sure that you've done the right research to find a winning product that's selling well, that customers are spending money on it every single month. So just a quick example of what I'm trying to say. If we look at this product right here, which is a dog lead, what I'm going to do is just jump over to Terapeak. And if you're not sure of what Terapeak is a product research software that eBay gives to all of its sellers. So you're able to go to it by clicking on research right there and then clicking on Terapeak Product Research. And then from here, you're going to be able to do various bits of product research to make sure that the product that you're selling is actually selling well. So as you can see, I've typed in dog lead right there and I've set the filters to best offer accepted and fixed price. And I've also set the condition to new as well. Let me just click on new. So if we just scroll down, there's a couple things that I want to show you guys just so that you can go away and double check whatever product that you've just listed to make sure that it meets this criteria, just so that you know that people are actually searching for that product. So the first thing that I like to look out for is the sell-through rate. So as you can see, this product, which is a dog lead, has a 44.62% sell-through rate. So if you're not really sure of what sell-through rate means, essentially this is the percentage that shows the number of sellers that were successful with selling dog leads in the last 30 days. So when it comes to using Terapeak, I like to make sure that the percentage is above 40%. So 44% is a decent percentage. The closer that you can get to 100%, all that really means is that you've got a higher chance of being able to sell whatever product that you're currently searching for. The next thing that you need to look out for is the total amount of sellers compared to the total amount of money that is being generated amongst all the sellers. So at the moment, there's around 2,200 different sellers that are selling dog leads right now. And amongst all of them, they're able to generate £359,000. But the only way that you're going to really know whether or not it's worth selling a particular product in terms of the total amount of sellers is by looking at various different products that you're considering selling and then comparing the total amount of sellers to the total sales. Now, in my experience, this number isn't high compared to the amount of money that they're all making. The fact that almost 2,000 different sellers are able to generate over £359,000 goes to show that there's a lot of money being spent on this particular product. Now for this number right here, when I'm searching on Terapeak, I like to make sure that it's minimum £50,000. So this number is a large amount. It means that the dog lead market is currently doing really well on eBay. And finally, when it comes to using Terapeak, I like to look at this graph right here. So as we can see, it says average sold price at the top. And what this is going to show us is the average daily price of what the product is selling for. So we can see that on the 13th of January, it was £7.83p, and then it ranges around this price. So with this data, it helps me to know whether or not I'm even going to be able to compete with the sellers. You need to make sure that you check the average sold price, and if it's going to cost you a certain amount that you're only going to be able to sell the item for £20 or £30, then it might not be in your best interest to sell that product. So it's always good to look at the average sold price as well. And then what you guys should do next, if you are using Terapeak, is click on this option right here. So what this graph is going to show us is the total amount of units that were sold on each day. So it's always good to look at this graph right here because it shows us on each day how many units were sold. So for example, on the 16th of January, there was 1,796 different dog leads that were sold. The reason why it's good to look at this graph is because we're going to be able to see if there's any downtrends, if there's any uptrends. You know, there's no point trying to sell a product that every single day is getting smaller and smaller. It's always good if it's average like this or if it's going in the upwards direction. But the main thing is to make sure that the product is selling every single day. And as we can see, dog leads are selling around 1,300, 1,700 units per day. So if you was to try and sell it yourself, you're definitely going to be able to make sales. So once you've checked your product, you've made sure that everything is perfect in terms of the sell-through rate, in terms of all of the data that I just showed you now. The next thing that you need to do once you've listed your product is to go over to the listing section where you've listed your product. You're going to be able to see all of this information, but most importantly, you're going to see the views column right here. So what this is basically showing you is the amount of views your listing is getting or the amount of clicks your listing is getting. So you want to make sure that once you first list your product, obviously it's going to be on 0, but you want to make sure that within the first 3 days, you're starting to see some clicks coming through. So if it's been more than 3 days or 5 days and you've got no views and no clicks on your listing, that might mean that you've done something wrong when you was actually listing your item. So I'm going to jump into this blank eBay listing and point out a couple things that you need to be aware of, just so that you can go back and make any changes that you might need to. So one of the most important things that you need to be aware of as an eBay seller is that the title is very important when it comes to ranking in the eBay search results. This is one of the first things that eBay looks at for them to know exactly what your product is. So you need to make sure that you're using the right keywords for whatever product you're selling within your title right here. And for me personally, I like to use all 80 characters. I don't like to leave it to 60 characters or 50 characters. I like to max out the amount of characters that I can use, because by doing that, I'm going to be able to put more keywords for the product, which means that I've got a better chance of ranking in the eBay search results. One of the next things that you can do to get more clicks on your listing is to max out the amount of images that you can upload. So as we can see right here, we're allowed to upload 12 images in total. Some people upload 1 image and they have success with it. Some people upload only 2 images. But for me personally, with all of my listings, I like to upload 12 images. There's a couple reasons for this. Number one, when it comes to eBay scanning your listing to see whether or not they should push it out to more buyers, if they see that you've uploaded 12 images, they're more than likely going to push it out to more potential buyers, because they know that buyers want to see more angles of the product that they might want to buy. So the more images you upload, the more likely they're going to show it to more potential buyers. So that's why I like to upload the maximum amount of images that I'm allowed to. So this section right here is very important, the additional item specific section. You need to make sure that when you're filling this section out, you put as much information as possible. Try to look at all of these different drop down boxes and put all of the information that you can put for the product that you're selling. Again, this is a very similar reason to what I just said. Number one, it's going to help eBay when it comes to understanding exactly what your product is. Number two, when it comes to a customer looking at your listing, it's going to make it a little bit easier for them to make a buying decision if they have more information. And one of the final things that you need to make sure that you filled out is this section right here, which is the item description. Try to avoid putting 1 or 2 sentences. I like to put multiple paragraphs so that the customer again can read through it and know exactly what the product is, so that there's no confusion when it comes to the customer receiving the item. And again, the more keywords that you put within your item description, eBay is going to know exactly how to rank it in the eBay search results. So those are the main changes that you need to make to your eBay listing if you're not getting any clicks. Try to go through and make sure that you put as much information, as much keywords as you possibly can within those 3 places, within the title, within the item specifics, and within the item description. And try and upload 12 pictures too, so that eBay can push your listing out to more people, and slowly and surely you're going to start to see more views coming in. If you're still looking for more information about building your business on eBay as a small eBay seller, then click right there, because in that video I break down everything that you need to be aware of if you're brand new to selling on eBay, some of the most important things that you need to avoid, and some of the things that you need to start doing as soon as possible. Make sure you watch that video straight after this video, because it's going to get you on the right path when it comes to making money on eBay as a beginner. If you found any value in this video, don't forget to press the like button. Don't forget to subscribe as well, hit the bell notification. And if you want to watch a webinar where I break down my story of going from $0 to $3,000 per day on eBay, then click the first link in the description down below. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next one. Make sure you stay safe out there. Peace.